got less gas than I do. Yeah, we're going to interview right now. And how long are you going to be here for? Okay, that's about the time you have to take off. All right. Work.
Or we can stand if you're up for that. Either way. Which segment do we want?
Test.
Check.
Let's do a 3.
3. Segment 3. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get that going here. So we're going to record ahead for this week.
Okay.
We're going to feature you this week.
Testing 1, 2. Check.
Check.
Okay. Let's see.
Toney.
Thank you. Did I do that, EY? Yeah, that's not an easy one to remember, especially with no sleep.
Let's readjust his microphone there. Just
Okay.
go.
Let me bring it up a little bit.
There we go.
Try that.
Testing.
All right,
They're
we're
good. Okay. All right. Do we'll have the website linked up and everything for the interview?
Yeah. What's a good
best
website to
website?
link up for you?
Just hit me up on Instagram.
Instagram?
Okay.
TFXMAN
TFXMAN
305.
305. Instagram.
Yeah.
We have an Instagram, don't we?
Yes, we do.
And my
Okay.
Facebook is Xman
Xman.
Toney Freeman Toney.
Toney.
Yep.
Freeman. Thanks. We'll get all of that linked up. We do the. So this will be about 12-minute 30?
12:30.
12-minute 30 interview. Okay. Say when?
Get a picture. All right. All right, here we go in 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, we are kicking it into gear here, still at the Chicago Cannabis Conference. The gift of CBD healing, I can call it, keeps on giving here. Super Don with me, and we are joined by, I don't know if I should be intimidated, I think. His arms are bigger than my head.
Yeah.
Tony
They're
Freeman.
bigger than my head, too.
They're bigger than his head, too. My goodness. This guy, Mr. Olympia competitions, I mean, you've been all over the world doing it. And there's an interesting story out of Sweden I want to talk to you about, too, in your history. But, Tony, you're here at a cannabis conference. Why would a bodybuilder, champion kind of guy like you be at a cannabis? That's what I have to start with.
I mean, I've been using hemp for years. Hemp protein, hemp seeds. I've been eating them and drinking the protein shakes for years.
How did you find out about hemp as a benefit as opposed to being something, oh, we got to avoid that because it could be?
Well, I'm lactose intolerant, so most protein shakes give me digestive issues. So
Right.
I was always searching for, a better source. And,
So you went with a good, clean vegetarian form.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's highly absorbable.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of beta carotene and a lot of nutrition and fiber in there.
Right.
And the first thing I noticed was it helped with my complexion, gave me a brighter complexion, and didn't give me any stomach distress.
So how long ago did you start using the hemp protein?
Had to be at least 10 years ago.
Wow. Okay. So you were in, and that's, I think if it was just starting to hit the U.S., Canada was more open to the hemp
I
protein
was ordering
products.
it from Canada at first.
You were, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they had Manitoba Harvest and things. We've interviewed people over the years.
Right.
Now in every health food store you see hemp protein, pretty basic.
Yep.
Well, which is good. We're big fans of that hemp protein as well. Now, from a brighter complexion, the protein was working. You're having to utilize a lot because you're building a lot of muscle.
Mm-hmm.
At what point does it extend into? There might be some other benefits to this plant that are not just in the protein.
Well, that's how I started. Of course, I did my research, and that's when I discovered CBDs. And I didn't have access to CBDs until just recently.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I heard that there was a company, like Cannaway, that was actually bringing them to market, I signed up instantly, ordered my product, and immediately started utilizing it.
So, but if you learned about CBD, somebody had to be talking in your ear. You saw a news report, something came into your radar because it was just almost out of nowhere. Suddenly, people were talking about cannabidiol.
Well, like I say, when you refine the protein, there's all the research about the entire plant and the history, back
Right.
that the cells were made from it, the first denim jeans were made from it. So, like I said, I'm a research guy, so
Yeah.
you discover those things almost by accident, and then you just kind of, keep yourself in the loop. And then, like I say, as soon as I heard about them,
Right.
I instantly researched that as well, and and got my hands on some product and started utilizing it. And every day I'm finding new uses for it.
Right. I was just thinking about maybe your first experience with the cannabidiol, the CBD from industrial hemp.
Mhm.
This is what we're talking about
Yep.
here. Your first impression? Did your body communicate? I mean, you're sensitive to your body, or you have to be attuned to it.
Right.
What did it say?
Watching a lot of the programming on TV, the History Channel and whatnot, they talk about hemp, the history of hemp, the history of marijuana. I learned about the body's extreme amount of can have acquired over human beings in years. And being the science, I'm not a scientist, but I'm a very scientific guy.
Mm-hmm.
I build on the cellular level, and I learned how your cells work and how about nutrition and your body absorbing nutrients and excreting toxins. So it was just an easy transition for me once I started reading and discovering.
Mm-hmm.
First was the defined have at Cannaway.
Right, topical. Yeah.
I had a brutal leg workout. My knees were throbbing like nobody's business.
Yeah.
And RBDs help with relief pain. Basically, I got my package, and it just so happened to come on the day that I had
that
basically killed
workout.
myself in the gym.
Yeah.
And I took it out, opened it up, and it was kind of thick. So I'm rubbing it on my hands, and I put some on my right knee, and I'm rubbing it in real good. And as I prepared to put it on my left knee, I noticed that the right knee was
Already.
the pain was starting to subside before I even got it on the left knee.
You're talking within a minute or less.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I rubbed it in real good, so it may have been a minute, maybe
Okay.
less than 2 minutes. Yep.
But still.
Yeah.
That, I mean, even so-called these aspirin-type topicals don't work that fast.
No.
Yeah.
No, they don't. And I actually have a pain product that works fast like that. It's a mineral-based product called X-Pain.
Mm-hmm.
But I used that before I trained.
Right, right.
So that allowed me to have a brutal leg workout.
Right, right.
So, and I was going to use it again post-workout, but I said, you know what, let me try this, let me try this Define and see if it worked. And it actually worked. But I was impressed with that, but I wasn't overly impressed.
Okay.
Because, I see a lot of cool stuff. And a few weeks later, maybe not even a week later, my son, my 10-year-old, got bit by a spider.
Ooh.
And I'll show you the picture. They can't see it on the radio.
What kind of spider is it?
I have no idea.
You don't know? Where are you
it
located?
It really didn't matter what kind of spider,
Sure.
because I'm going to show you the sore, and it was so ridiculously
And where
hideous.
are you guys located?
We're in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Atlanta. I grew up 30 years there. So, yeah,
I live in a
well.
new house. He went to his friend's house. So I didn't think he got bit in our house because our house is like brand new. So he went to his friend's house. He came home and said, "Dad, did you see my spider bite?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't see it." So he showed it to me. And this is what it looked like.
Wow.
I mean, that's pretty hideous, right?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
So I put some of the Define on it, put a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
The next day I called him into the bathroom. I said, "Let me put some more stuff on your sore." And that's what it looked like when I peeled the Band-Aid off.
Nice.
So 24 hours, it was completely healed.
And that was one application.
Like one application.
Nice. Well, listen, you would talk about testimonials when you see your kids respond like that. Yeah, you're in.
I was about to take him to the emergency room.
Yeah.
I was super tired. It was late at night, and I had just took him like 3 weeks before that, so I didn't feel like going through that again. So he wasn't complaining. So I was like, okay, we'll go tomorrow, and I put the stuff on his neck, and the next day it was gone. It was amazing.
Really incredible. Really incredible. Now, as far as it's a competitive thing that you do with bodybuilding. Is this something that you're keeping secret because you want a competitive edge, or are you willing to talk to folks about it?
Every time I discover something cool, that's the first thing people say, "Don't tell nobody about it." I'm just not one of those guys. I don't really fear competition.
Yeah.
I'm a sharer. I like to share what I find. It makes it more rewarding, and also I get confirmation. Is it in my head?
Right.
So if the next person that I share it with has good results, then I know I'm on to something.
Well, I can imagine that they have, but do you have any stories of someone who said, I didn't really believe what you were telling me, but I thought I'd try it and it worked?
Well, I have a friend who takes anti-anxiety medicine.
Okay.
And she was helping me move, and she didn't have her medicine with her. And I let her try the vape pen, and she immediately had relief and was like, I don't even need my meds. So I'm gonna sign her up so she can partake in that on a regular basis.
That's pretty profound.
Yeah, because those anxiety meds are pretty
brutal. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Super Don, you got any? You're intimidated over here. We got Toney here. He's a nice guy though. He's a nice guy.
They know I'm laid back. Don't let the size
He's a nice
bother
guy.
you.
Let me ask you some stuff here on the bodybuilding side of things. I used to be a gym rat.
Okay.
Long time ago.
Yeah.
I quit right around the Lee Haney, Dorian Yates era when that first started and stuff like that. What inspired you to get into bodybuilding?
Well, I started lifting seriously after meeting or seeing a picture of a competitive bodybuilder. My ex-wife had a friend who was a competitive bodybuilder, and I had never seen one in person. So when I saw his photo, I was extremely impressed, and I joined the gym next day, and I've been training ever since. Which
Did you ever envision one day that you'd end up in Sweden in prison?
I never went to prison. I never got
whatever
arrested.
they did, they detained
They didn't
you.
do anything. It's like say it's 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock in the evening, and the sun goes down.
Yeah.
You know how modern cars have the auto lights, so the light on the inside is on.
Yes.
I'm sorry, the headlights are on the outside, but not on the inside.
Yeah.
So say a cop pulls you over and says, turn your headlights on. It was equivalent to that. They questioned me because of my size.
It was profiling.
They profiled you.
Yeah.
So they questioned. I was at an event signing autographs.
What are no muscular people allowed in Sweden? What's that?
I don't really know the rules. I didn't really, my whole deal. I was there for an appearance.
Yeah.
I was in the store signing autographs. 2 police came in the store. They said, "Mr. Freeman, you need to come with us." And I'm like, "For what?" I thought Ashton Kutcher was about to come out of the bank.
All right.
And I'm like,
They
"It's a
punked
joke,
you, right?
It's a joke." There's like 65 people in there. Anyway, I cooperated.
They didn't introduce you to the bikini team from Sweden. That would have been cool. No, they didn't do that.
So they questioned me for like 24, 25, 30 minutes, and then they let me go. I went back to the store. Everybody was still in the store, and I'm like, I couldn't believe everybody was still there. And they said, "Oh, that happens all the time. We knew you were coming back." So it was really nothing. The media kind of made a big
blew
deal
it up.
of
That's why I was asking about it.
But the guy who the officer involved, he had a case going on with some other bodybuilders in Sweden, because obviously they're big time against it.
Right.
So he was trying to get some media attention to help his case.
Okay.
And what I told him was, I said, you're just making me more famous, because when people figure out why you did this, because I'm a big person and that's the only reason, then they're going to be on my side, not your side. I told him to go get his testosterone checked because he was acting like a bitch. but it's things happen. When you walk around looking like this, you should expect positive and negative reactions.
And but in Sweden, I wouldn't know.
I stayed in Sweden for 2 weeks before that and never had any problem. They were feeding me for free in the mall, and so I was signing autographs everywhere. And so it was just that particular officer who had a vendetta.
So they're just trying.
He didn't even know that I knew people high up in Sweden. So I made a couple phone calls and he got fired. So
nice.
They were just fishing.
Well done.
That's all,
fishing and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well done. Well done. So do you see, like, with the bodybuilding, I understand you're like 47?
Yes, I'll be 48 in August. I'm not rushing it, but yeah.
Well, we're about the same age, and I am just impressed with what you can do at this age. I mean, I took up boxing a few years ago, but just for fun and fitness. But to have this kind of body, to be able to compete at that high level at this age, it's impressive.
I started really taking care of myself, 10 years ago. And before that, I was just a normal bodybuilder. I didn't think I was doing anything special. But when I started learning about how the body really works and how to, detoxify yourself and keep yourself clean, and the power of organic foods and alkaline water and all that type of stuff.
Beautiful.
So I do that stuff, that's my lifestyle.
It shows.
So
definitely
as soon as I wake
shows.
up every morning, I have 40 ounces of 9.5 alkaline water. I eat all, grass-fed natural foods.
There are a lot of people out there that say that you cannot compete in professional bodybuilding without resorting to steroids. And what we've got here is proof that that's not true.
Any sport is going to use whatever methods that they use in that sport. It's just like buying a high-end computer. When this one gets old, you buy the next thing. So, I think whatever somebody does to get where they're going is their personal business.
Right.
And as long as they're not harming anybody, as long as it's not against the rules.
The libertarian guy here.
Sounds like a
But it's the
libertarian.
truth.
Yeah.
It's human. It's being human.
Sure.
Everybody,
Absolutely.
Everyone's opinion is based on something that they learn.
Right.
We're not born with opinions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm an open-minded, free spirit type of guy. So,
Toney Freeman.
and I know that that this world is everyone's supposed to be free.
Yeah.
And
I love the last name. Got to say it right there.
Exactly. So
Toney Freeman.
I'm the epitome of a free man.
I love it. Really appreciate meeting you, connecting with you, getting your spirit.
Thank you.
And I look forward to doing some more with you, Toney Freeman. He's doing the CBD, and it's doing him right.
Yes,
Everybody.
Exactly. That's what it's about. Doing it right.
Doing
not
it
just
right.
doing it.
Doing it right. We'll be right back. That was great. Let's get a shot so we can post it when we do the interview and air it. Did you get a picture of us? Okay, right here. It's okay. Thank you very much. So we'll connect and make sure they know the timing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Be around tomorrow too. I have my favorite. Yeah, to go away. I'm in trouble tomorrow. Oh, you got it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for stopping by.